Animal Crossing is a series that spans generations. For example, some of you watching may have grown up with Isabelle, and some of you may have grown up with Tom Nook. Animal Crossing is something that is loved by millions of people across the world, of different ages, beliefs, and backgrounds. It came into the world in 2001 as a Nintendo 64 game until it was ported over to the GameCube and released in North America in 2002, though some of us didn't get the game until 2004. Since then, Animal Crossing has spawned many more games such as Wild World, City Folk, New Leaf, New Horizons, and it even has its own spin-offs such as Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer and Pocket Camp. But what makes this series so charming? Why are people obsessed with such a simple looking series of games? Join us as we dig deep into the world of Animal Crossing. This is Animal Crossing, our story. Believe it or not, I didn't catch on to Animal Crossing until New Leaf came out in 2013. I knew what it was, but I never really had an interest in this sort of game. Some people, however, such as JVG's Jeff, have been playing right from the start. This article shows just how long he's been maintaining his GameCube town, and I can't think of many other games where someone would do something like this. In the article, Jeff says, "My towns are like links to the past that I can revisit at any time. My GameCube town still has most of the same villages it had 15 years ago. The villagers are almost like old friends, or in some cases, annoying neighbors that you've sort of grown to like." This is a sentiment I can definitely agree with. Animal Crossing has so many lovable characters that it isn't hard to develop some kind of bond with them. Whether you feel like they're your best friend or even mortal enemy, the characters pull you in. They're familiar to us despite the fact they aren't living in our real world. Why could this be? Is it the genius writing of the characters from the developers themselves, or is it our own imaginations that have brought these fairly simple characters to life? One of my favourite characters is Bob, and I can't tell you exactly why I think he's so amazing, but to me he just is. Bob is this lazy, chilled out cat who I've shared many towns with now, and honestly, I don't think Animal Crossing would feel the same for me without him in it. It's characters like Bob that we're drawn to. Not necessarily because they're complex or incredibly insightful, but because they etch themselves on our minds, sticking with us throughout the years as we grow and they remain much the same. They're just characters on a screen, yet they can feel just as real as you or me. Animal Crossing also has a very interesting feature that is the real-time clock. Time passes by as it would in the real world, and this really creates the sense that you are living inside of this world with your fellow animals. Each day provides you with new challenges and new discoveries, much like our own world, although many would agree that Animal Crossing is usually a much more relaxing world to find yourselves in. After all, the series allows you to do what you would like, when you would like. There's no punishment for taking some time off to catch bugs or go fishing. You have an immense amount of freedom to enjoy the game as you wish. This sense of freedom helps make Animal Crossing the perfect place to escape from the real world, a place where your troubles are few and far between. It's not to say that Animal Crossing is totally stress-free though. We've all had moments where a villager has moved in on top of our paths or destroyed some flowers and felt a little bit annoyed. But these obstacles keep the game interesting. They're there, but easily surpassable, meaning you never struggle too much to keep on with exactly what you would like to be doing in your little town. The amount of personal expression each player has in Animal Crossing is so potent, and it's something that has been there since the very start. Animal Crossing Wild World is where this really took off. But every title since has expanded upon this and given the players the ability to truly be themselves in the games, or, if they'd like, someone new. It's exciting to visit a friend's town and see what look they're sporting, what wacky accessories they've put on, or how your style differs from theirs. In a way, all of our characters feel unique and personal to us, even if they're not directly styled after our real selves. This is something I don't see in too many of the big Nintendo games, yet for Animal Crossing it has always been a part of its identity. Someone who has been a part of the Animal Crossing fandom for quite some time is Mayor Mori, and I spoke to him about his experiences with the series.
Hey YouTube, it's Mayor Mori here. The story of how I got into Animal Crossing isn't a very exciting one to be honest, but it all started back in the GameCube days. I'd been lucky enough to receive my very own GameCube, and as you can imagine, I spent most of my time playing the classics such as Luigi's Mansion, Mario Kart, and even Billy Hatcher. If anyone remembers that game, it's so underrated. Anyway, this was back in like 2002 or 2003 time, and during one of the summer holidays I was trawling through endless eBay listings looking for a new game to buy and play, and this is pretty much where my journey into Animal Crossing began. As you can imagine, when you only have the budget for one game, picking a new one out of so many top games was tricky, but literally every time I went to eBay, I kept seeing this one game, Animal Crossing Population Growing, and for some reason it was only for the US. It wasn't even available in England, and I think initially that's what drew me in. I was so curious to why this was only available in the States, I started looking into whether or not it was possible to play US region games here in England, and sure enough I discovered the GameCube Freeloader, which is essentially a third-party cheat disc that allows you to boot any game from any region onto any GameCube console. So with that, it was decided. I submitted my bid, won a copy of Animal Crossing, I bought a freeloader disc, and it literally changed my life forever. A week or so later, my game finally arrived, and being super excited to see what the mysterious game had in store, I grabbed the freeloader, booted up Animal Crossing, and started to play and immediately fell in love. For me, Animal Crossing is a completely unique franchise. It's second to none and offers escapism, has an adorable charm, it's immersive and engaging, and you can literally drift away from reality and become part of this fascinating world where there's literally no pressure to do anything but enjoy the game. I played Animal Crossing on the GameCube so much throughout the summer, and even got my mum and brother involved, which was super nice. Of course, back then information about games wasn't readily available online, so I was constantly discovering new things about town life, from morning aerobics to the first time I dug up a NES game. It was just a wonderful experience. So yeah, a bit of a strange story, but everything from the characters to the personalities to the real life events and even the music and sound effects was just amazing. When it's raining, thundering and lightning and I'm out in town trying to catch a barred knife jaw, pretty much nothing else matters, and certainly no other video game has ever given me that experience. Of course, I went on to play the future versions of all the games and continued to fall in love more and more with the franchise, and the rest is history.
One of the aspects of the games that pulled me into the series was how much fun it was to play online with friends. Of course, this feature wasn't always a part of the series, but you've always been able to share a town with friends or family. Nowadays, you can invite players online into your town and engage in many different activities with them. Back in 2013, when New Leaf was still fresh on everyone's minds, I would spend hours on the island, chatting with friends over voice call as we would hunt rare beetles and fish. I know I'm not alone in saying that many people have memories like this with their friends, but even solo play like this is incredibly rewarding and enjoyable. The years pass and these are the sort of memories that you keep with you. For example, I'm a big fan of Pokemon and have played all the entries, but I can't tell you what I was doing in the games back in 2013. I can, however, tell you exactly what I was doing with Animal Crossing back in 2013. It still feels incredibly clear to me even now, and I've had so many great memories with all of the other games as well. New Leaf was so popular that I imagine a fair share of these sales are from people buying 2 copies so they could make a second town to play on, or even used to hunt for specific villages they wanted. I'm guilty of buying 2 copies of the game, as you can see, one I've had since 2013 when it came out. I used to spend a lot of time on online Animal Crossing communities trying to get my favourite villages from other people's towns. One time back in 2013, I was working on a special cat-only town, and that's when I met Bob. I got him from someone on an Animal Crossing community, and the rest is history. Despite my love for Animal Crossing New Leaf, I have to speak about the original, Animal Crossing on the GameCube. Although not my first, it's very close to being my favourite. There's something incredibly magical about this version of the game, something that I don't feel has been captured in any other version. The ambience of this game is out of this world and it still holds up today even after all of these years have passed. I can see why a lot of people fell in love with this series because of this game. There's something especially charming about how simple it is. You can't really go to great lengths to decorate your town, but you can still truly enjoy the joys of a peaceful life in town. Looking back, it seems Nintendo themselves might not have been too sure that Animal Crossing would work. After all, it was a fairly risky concept, making such a laid-back game. It might not appeal to a large portion of gamers. It seems like that's why they included NES games, to help encourage people to play, so they would have this little extra bonus to incentivize them to buy the game. Nowadays, such thing isn't needed as Animal Crossing is beloved by so many. The series has come so far since these GameCube days. Another person who's been a fan of the series for some time is iDeViL360, and although he isn't an Animal Crossing channel, he's a pretty big fan and a moderator on the Animal Crossing New Horizons Discord community. I spoke to him about his experiences with the series.
Thanks for inviting me. I first discovered Animal Crossing in 2006. I was in 6th grade when I met an old friend at school who was obsessed with Nintendo. He kept sneaking in his original DS. He kept calling it Nintendo Double Screen, which is in fact what DS stands for. One day he came at school all excited with a new game, which was Animal Crossing Wild Worlds. He let me try it during the break times, and I remember the first thing I did was catching a red snapper. I was very proud, but I lost his stylus afterwards, and he didn't want me to play the game anymore, so he didn't share his DS with me anymore, so I got my own copy of the game, with a brand new DS Lite. But what caught my attention to the series is that it's a never-ending game. It has always something new to offer to you. Every time you turn on your DS, the constant upgrading, buying, selling, it's all a great way to keep the player's attention to the game. But it's been over 13 years now, and I've gone through Wild World, City Folk, New Leaf, Happy Home Designer, Pocket Camp, and now we're finally getting a well-deserved new Animal Crossing game next year. I'm pretty excited. Though the real reason why I love the series so much is mostly also why a lot of people play it. It helps against bad moods, sad days, stressful weeks, loneliness. Countless of times Animal Crossing distracted me from any sort of problems and made my day just a bit brighter.
It's so interesting to me learning where and when everyone started playing Animal Crossing. There are thousands of ways people have stumbled upon these amazing games, but most importantly, it's that they did. I imagine for some people, Animal Crossing really changed their lives. I certainly feel that way, as I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now without it. It's understandable why the excitement for an upcoming game like New Horizons is so exciting to fans, because it's almost like a taste of better days to come, new adventures in a far-off land, and it's incredibly exciting. BradMenny is another Animal Crossing YouTuber who is very passionate about the series. I spoke to him about his experiences.
Hey guys, I'm Brad, and I started playing Animal Crossing in either 2006 or 2007. My first Animal Crossing game was Wild World, and my brother actually got me into it. I just remember watching him play it and thinking how cool it looked, and pretty soon after that, I ended up getting it. Some of my neighbors got the game, and one of my friends did too, and we would all just play together. And I have so many memories with that game, waking up during the summer and just playing Wild World for most of the day. And I think the reason why I like Animal Crossing so much, even to this day, is because of all the different things you can do in the games. There's so much customization. You can customize your character, your house, your town. And back when I first discovered Animal Crossing, I thought that was so cool. And of course you have all the different NPCs, you have all the animals that can move in, the different shops you can go to. There's just so much character to the game. I love the art style as well, and the real-time clock makes the game very unique, and in general, Animal Crossing is just really relaxing, and I think that's another big reason why I like this series so much.
It's worth mentioning that not everyone found the series through the main games. In fact, some people found the series through Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, the mobile app. Although Pocket Camp might not be as popular with fans as the main games, one really good aspect of it is how many people were introduced to the series through it. I personally met many people who first started with Pocket Camp and have now decided to check out the other games. It's great that Pocket Camp could give people a taste of the series and introduce them to the larger world of Animal Crossing. It's always exciting to see new people discover the series, and I'm sure we will see many more join the fandom when Animal Crossing New Horizons comes out in 2020. It means a lot to me seeing how everyone has been impacted by the series. I think Animal Crossing must have one of the most wholesome communities online. Although sometimes overused, the word wholesome describes the Animal Crossing fandom perfectly. I've never been part of such a supportive and friendly community before in my life, and it seems like everyone shares the same feelings and how much of a positive impact the games can have on you. Even if Animal Crossing hasn't changed your life, it's just great to play and pass the time with. I can't think of any other games I've had so much fun with, at least in comparison to Animal Crossing. I've also recommended the games to many friends, and some of them have become long-term fans, which is exactly what my friends did to me. Animal Crossing is definitely something to be shared. I also got speaking with ChuyPlaysNintendo about his thoughts on the series and why he enjoys the game so much.
Hey everybody, this is ChuyPlaysNintendo, and as far as when I first started playing Animal Crossing, I was in high school. It was the very first year. I always knew about this game but never got it, / I hadn't borrowed it from a friend until right this moment where a good friend of mine let me borrow their game and eventually let me keep it. But at the time, I think what I really liked about the game was the freedom that it gave me. I think it was really cool to have my own place and essentially set it up the way I wanted. But now, I'd say the thing I really like about this series is that it embraces the monotony of life in a positive way, I guess, because once you start playing Animal Crossing for several months, maybe even years, you start to get used to the daily routine. And I think that's one thing we can all learn to appreciate. I know it's just a game, but I really appreciate when games come with lessons, because day by day, we tend to see the same thing over and over and nothing changes, but then you look back and you think of where you've been and where you've gotten to, and it feels like you've made all this progress all of a sudden, even though you don't see it day by day. And I think that's why I love Animal Crossing so much. It captures that. It captures that little by little, you can make a little progress toward a goal and then make it. So yeah, that's kind of what I love about that game now.
So, that's what Animal Crossing means to us. It's something that is different for each person, something that transcends countries, cultures, ages, and so much more. Animal Crossing has touched the lives of so many people across the world and will continue to do so for many years to come. This has been Animal Crossing, our story. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this little mini documentary I put together for the series. I want to say thank you to Mori, iDeViL360, BradMenny, and ChuyPlaysNintendo for taking part. I couldn't have done it without them. You can check their channels in the video description. They're all absolutely fantastic and I can't recommend them enough, so please do that. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by leaving a like. You can also support me via Patreon if that's something you're interested in. There are a lot of cool perks to enjoy. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.